Well, this is quickly becoming the channel of Paul's poor financial decisions.
They're multiplying like rabbits in here, dude.
What is going on here? Breakfast!
This is so stupid. Why buy another one? There's not a good reason. Kind of worried they're gonna quit making them. I can't imagine they're selling very well. I mean, the only reason I bought it is because they had a massive sale on them. MSRP was 17 something. The sale I got it at, it was at 12.
Nice.
So I got it for 15 out the door, which is what the MSRP was on the 2021 when I got it. So this one, the new one, was actually cheaper. Some of the differences, and this gives me a good chance to compare the Black Pearl to what it was like new. Find out some things that are a little bit different now. Headlight design didn't change. Literally nothing changed about these bikes over the years. This is exactly how I got this bike, only in a different color.
What?
Or something did change. I haven't found it. But because now I have a stock one I can show you, I couldn't tell how bad things were getting kind of wore out and loose. Bars. Shifter. All right, now let's go look at this one. Bars.
Damn!
Good Lord. Shifter. Get loose as a goose on this one, man. I gotta do something about that. I couldn't tell because it's like boiling a frog slowly. That got progressively worse through time, and I never really noticed. I kind of knew that there was some slack building up in there, but I didn't realize how bad it had gotten until this one got here. And from what I could tell, the slack is mostly coming from where the bars connect to the top of the power steering, because everything below the power steering doesn't really move when this is moving.
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean, Basil?
This gives me a chance to point out those headlight differences I was talking about in my review video. You can see how that is how these lights are held on. It's like a pivot point right there, and you see that right there. That is a screw hole from an older system of lights, I'm guessing. So this is what failed the first time. Eventually, like, you ride this thing hard enough, that thing will wiggle loose and it'll just kind of like break out right there, and then the whole light falls and gets beat to death in here. And you can see on the Black Pearl, you can see where the bracket broke right there. I have the excess cord clipped to it right now, but it got all hogged out, all wallered out right there. And these lights screw in on those little posts that I was talking about earlier. That must be from an older light design. The rack design that they have for these things. These are those cast aluminum uprights I was talking about. Looks like those haven't changed over the years either. They're still that same cast aluminum, cheap, flimsy stuff that eventually they break up top up here. And this bike's not gonna have a rack. This bike I want to build more for racing in mind. I'm hoping. Wow, that just flipping punctuated my point right there, dude. It's somehow wider and almost as wide, and yet 100% more useless. And I mean, look at this. Look at the box. How are you supposed to use that box? You can barely get your hand in there. It's just a terrible design. I don't know what they're thinking, man. And they keep putting the same thing on this bike. They're not changing it. They like it. I don't. Beyond me. Anyway, I don't think I'm going with any rack on the back. it's going to be rackless. I'll just have the box, which is a lot more useful now without without any rack on top. You can open this thing up all the way. I want to do some races before I get too old to do so. So that's what this bike is eventually going to become that way. And that means it's not going to get a rear rack. It's not going to get a lot of the stuff the Black Pearl's got on it. I'm not going to worry about light bars and such unless I do a night race. Something I should have mentioned in my review was these wires right here are for the fan, and they are actually getting pinched in between this frame rail and that basket for the fan. And what I'd had happen to me on the Black Pearl was those actually they wiggle. They have just enough room to wiggle in there. And what they did was they wiggled all the sheathing off the wires, and it shorted out. And when it shorted out, my fan quit working. I actually overheated the bike to the point where it got put into limp mode, and I had to go limp mode all the way home. When I got home, what I did was I took the connectors off, and I eventually finagled these wires out around that frame rail, and then just zip tied them onto the frame rail. I have no idea why they did it like this. This is a really bad design. And I am not gonna make the same mistake twice. I'm gonna start with taking this, unclipping these wires, and routing them around that frame rail so I don't have that same issue. I need to get that solved now so that's not an issue later. And it's something that if you own these bikes, you definitely need to watch out for, because if it hasn't happened yet, it might in the future. So I would take a look at that. It's not very easy getting these wires routed back around that. It's kind of a pain, but it's well worth it. Oh, shop kitty. Oh no. This thing kind of matches you, you know it? Ooh, I don't know about that. That's keep them claws in, boy. Well, there it is. Hyde's new favorite. I need a name for this thing. I don't know. I got the Black Pearl on this one. I don't know name for that guy. If anyone actually watches these videos, help me out naming this thing. Send me a couple good ones. Maybe I'll pick yours. Well, that's all. Hey. Thanks for watching.